Hello, everybody. Okay, I have a huge dark spot. That's a little better. Okay, there we go. I think that's a bit better. Okie dokie. Oh yeah, not too bad. Okay, here we go. All right. When you get here, please say that you're here so I know who's on with me. Hi, Patty. Hi, Arlene. Hey, Arlene, I have all of your kits ready to go. Just let me know which day you're coming for porch pickup. Okay? Okie dokie. We're going to get started. Tonight's card is called Triple Display Easel Card. It is super cool. Wait till you see how we do this. Okay, so you needed to have a piece of cardstock that was 4 1/4 by 11. It is scored at 1 inch and then 6 1/2. So that's this piece here. Then you needed some pattern paper, cut at 3/4 by 3 3/4 and 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. Then we needed a piece of pattern paper at 3 3/4 by 4. We needed some cardstock that would be kind of this, like you're bringing in this color to go with the card. So I'm using Colonial white, or you could use French vanilla, or depending on whatever paper you're using. But you needed one that's 7/8 by 4, a piece that is 1 1/2 by 4, and a piece that is 4 by 4 1/4. And that's what these are. And then one more piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're actually putting this on the back of the card, not the inside of the card. Okay, and of course, I cannot see any comments. Oh, there we go, finally. Yes, okay. So let me move these things aside, and then you needed 2 more pieces. You needed a pattern paper that's 1 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then you needed a piece of cardstock that was the same as your base, 1 1/2 by 5 1/2, and that's what's going to go here. Just wait till you see this. This is such a fun card. You're going to love it. And then a bunch of like embellishments and a tag of some sort. So, okay, let's get ourselves started. So we have our piece of cardstock, and it is, let's just double check that mine is correct, 4 1/4 by 11, and it's going to be scored at 1. Well, if I turned it this way, it's going to be scored at 1 inch and 6 1/2. So we're going to begin with this piece first so that then we can continue on. So let's bring these pieces in. Okay, so this is going to go here because when we go to do the easel, we want it to land here. Does that make sense? You can put it here, but once you open the card, you're really not going to see it. So that's why you could do one of 2 things. You can layer it like this, put it here and cut a second of everything, or we can put it here and we're going to just let the front be very plain so that the embellishments would be what's going to hold it all together. I hope that makes sense. All right, so we are going to take this piece of pattern paper that is 3 3/4 by 4, and I'm just going to do a little distressing to it, and I'm just going to do what's called ink to paper, where you are going to just swipe your ink pad along the edge of the paper. And I'm keeping it very shallow, or I should say it's a sharper angle because I don't want the ink kind of going over my pattern. Does that make sense? I just want to kind of hide the fact that it is white core. Okay, so that's just going to make it emphasize a little bit more. And I'm going to do the same thing to this. So this, you can actually see it a little bit better. Let's just double check that you can see that. Let me see. Yes, so you can kind of see where I just ran the ink spot over the edge of the paper. It's very difficult to see. Let me try it again. I'm going to do the back side of what I'm not doing, okay? So I'm not bringing it where it's like this, because then you're seeing that ink, and I don't want that. I'm just dragging it along so that it's a sharp edge. And I'm going to do that on all four sides. I hope that makes sense. There we go. So I'm going to do that. And now we're going to put our cardstock piece, which is 4 by 4 1/4. I'm putting that on first. And that's going to go here. Yes. Now I'm going to put this beautiful pumpkin piece on next, just like that. And we're going to bring in these two pieces, which were 7/8 by 4 and 1 1/2 by 4. And then the two pattern papers that match. So 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to show you how and where these are going to go. So we're going to put that there. You know what? I do want to ink this up. Since I've already inked everything else up, we should just keep it going. Monday morning. Okay. Just so you're not freaked out, I will be home because I've had a migraine all day, so I will be home. But I will still just put it in my front door, okay? So in your packet, Arlene, will be your the Christmas card workshop, your November 6th card class, and your paper pumpkin that will be this upcoming weekend. And then on Saturday, you and I will FaceTime while everybody's here for the class. And I just saw Mary Lynn is here as well. Good evening, Mary Lynn. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to do the same thing to this piece. It just kind of gives you that crisper edge so it doesn't fall flat into your card. Okay, let's put this one down next. Now this one, the larger of the two, is going to be what's going to lay on the inside, but we're going to put a little bit of foam adhesive. The smaller one is what's going to come on this outside flap up here. I have like so many score lines in mine. Let's see, do I have it now? Nope, I had it right the first time. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this piece, which is the smaller of the two, is going to go at the top, that little 1-inch section of the card. So that's going to lay there. Now this larger one is going to come on the inside, but we're going to do some foam to that because that is what's going to stop the easel, so to speak. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's put that piece down next. So for this part, you are going to want to go approximately 1/2 inch from the bottom of the card, because I don't want to take away too much of that prettiness. But once we put it in, that's right where everything's going to stop. So let's do that mechanism next. So that's where you're going to bring in your pattern paper that was 1 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then your cardstock piece that was 1 1/2 by 5 1/2. That's the same as our base. So both of these, I've already inked everything else up, so I might as well just continue doing that. Yes, when we're done with our call tonight, our video tonight, I will be reporting my absence and going back to bed. I think it is the rain. All of this rain, the barometric pressure must be high or low. I have not figured that part out yet. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this plaid all the way on. And I went with this tone-on-tone plaid because I felt it was not competing against everything else. So now to put this piece on, we're going to go like that, but we're only adhering at this top portion. So I'm going to turn my card sideways just so I have a little more flexibility, so to speak, on my gluing. And I want something a little sturdier. Let me see what I have sitting in front of me. I don't think oh, I do. I have a little bit of score tape right there. So I'm going to just use a little bit of score tape because it's a little stronger. And I really want a solid bond so that this little piece that's going to hold everything kind of together has some strong contact. And I'm going to put a little more adhesive right there. All right, I do need, I'll just use my scissors because I can't find anything else. There we go. I think I need to roll this up just a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, so now comes the fun part. You can decide, do you want yours to this far right, far left, right in the middle? I'm going to go far right with mine, and it is going to butt right to the top of the card, right to that very tippy top. So right up here, and then when we go like that, there's my easel. Let me see if I can get this to kind of So it would stop with that mechanism like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to close our card. So now we only have that little bit, but it's going to be our decorations now that is going to fill in this portion. But we want to remember when we go to adhere down the embellishment cluster, so to speak, we only want it onto this flap. Does that make sense? The top flap, is it folded down? Yes, Mary Lynn, it is folded down. Okay, so this top flap folds down, and then we have all plain. This is all plain. You could have added another piece of whatever you did here to tie the two together. I opted to put mine on the inside because I still wanted that prettiness on the inside. I hope that makes sense. All right, so let's build this little cluster. So all of my cluster is going to start on a tag. It's all going to go on this and then some. And it's all going to burst from there. So I think I'm going to put that down first. And I want to be careful. I'm only adhering here in the center, because if I put on the ends, then I'm going to be closing my card completely. I mean, it's okay because this is still going to lay flat. So you could. We will put it all the way down because I think we're going to still be okay. And we're going to find out together. And again, I am using a little bit of my tear and tape just because I really want a good bond with that. Actually, no, you can't, because then if you do that, then you're sealing it up. No. See, I knew. This is why you do not do lives when you have a migraine. All right, so I'm going to put that one there. And this one. So if you've already started, you might want to wiggle your adhesive around, because if you do that, you are closing up your card and you will not be able to have that fun little easel component. See, I was right the first time. I know, it's rare when I am correct. Okay, I'm going to peel these off. Ooh, we are up to 4 people tonight. This is awesome. Okay, so now let's just make sure I'm right where I need to be. There we go. See, because if you put it here, it will then close to this, and then you will not be able to open your card. See, I was right the first time. But then when I go like that, we're going to have this beautiful cluster sitting here. And I'm going to be gluing everything now to this tag. So let's get cracking on everything else. Okay, so I have this beautiful foil leaf, and then I have a little bit of a green leaf, which would kind of go like that. And I have my pumpkin, which needs a little bit of inking. This needs a little inking, and this I'm going to show you right now how I'm going to paint this image. So I'm going to take a little bit of that Cajun Craze that we used last week and a water brush. And all I'm doing is painting that ink onto my leaf. And it will dry, so that's why I'm going to do it first before I do any of my inking. Let's see, what else would I want to be in that color? I think I will go with maybe the, no, that's all I'm going to use, that. All right, and I'm going to wipe off my brush. I'm going to wipe up my ink. And now I'm going to bring in a little bit of that pecan pie. And that I want is this leaf right here. And I'm going to do this leaf over here. Just like that. Oh, lovely. All right, and we're going to clean my brush a little. I'm going to wipe that up. I'm going to pull in a little bit of early espresso. I'm going to do this leaf. Now you could have colored this with colored pencils, markers, you know, whatever is your choice. I just opted to do a little bit of painting tonight. Now I need 2 more colors though. So I think I will grab in an orange and then a green of some sort. Okay, let's see. Green, I'm going to go with garden green. And I'm going to do these leaves in that. And a lot goes a long way. I should say a little goes a long way. Oh, that looks really pretty. All right, now we just need an orange. And believe it or not, I do not have any other orange but Cajun Craze. So I think we will do a yellow. I think that'll be just fine. We will do a yellow. Oh, and it has not been opened yet. And my yellow that I will be using is called Darling Duckling. It is one of the new in colors for 2025, 2026. Oh yeah, that looks nice. I like that. I like that color. I was working earlier on the calendar for 2026. So if you have any requests for classes or themes for like a card class, our regular Thursday class, please post that in the comments just so that I can really get started with that. I'd like to have that ready to roll soon. So we're going to let that sit and dry. I'm going to bring in my blending brushes and give these a little bit of distressing. And I need to grab one more before we do anything else. So I'm going to do first a little bit of the pecan pie. So I'm just going to bring that in. And I'm going to do my acorn. Just gives it a little more definition. And then we're going to do A little bit of early espresso for the top. Which I don't know if you can really see it. Let's add a little more. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside. And then we're gonna do a little bit on the pumpkin. So let me grab an orange. An orange blending brush. And I'm going to do a little bit of Cajun Craze, just a little here. That's just kind of elevating the look of our pumpkin, giving it a little more shadow. And you know what? I think I'm going to put just a hint of that yellow in it. And I'm going to use a super tiny brush for that. That's looking nice. Looking very realistic. Let me lift that up so that you can see that. See how that looks so realistic? It looks like a real pumpkin now. That little bit of detail that just elevates your card. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so I do know, let's see, let's put our acorn together. That'll give our leaves just a little bit longer to dry. I'm going to put my adhesive at the top of the acorn. And now I'm going to put that cute little acorn topper on it. And I'm going to pinch just so I'm making sure that I'm holding it all together. There we go. Okay, now for the leaf, that is going to go down here. So I only am going to be adhering this top portion, not the bottom portion. And the other thing that I was thinking was if I sliced a little right here, I might be able to layer my pumpkin in between the leaf. So I'm just going to kind of give it a little curve, so to speak. Let's see, maybe I want it this way. Oh yeah, I think I prefer it that way. So something like that is what I was thinking. And I'm going to now put some foam tape. Before I do that, I am going to put a little bit of my liquid here. Nope, wrong way. There we go. And now I'm just going to squeeze and pinch for just a second. And that will dry clear, but I am going to wipe it. And then I'm going to put a little bit on the back here, just to hold those together. There we go. So now I have to look to see, I can only put my foam here. I don't want it at this bottom portion because, again, we will be sealing our card and we don't want to seal the card. And I did not put foam on all of it because I still want to tuck things under. Okay, so I'm going to lay this on and bring it up just a hair because I want to hide that little opening there. Oh, see, that's already looking good. We're going to tuck our acorn in here. And my glue is kind of spitting out at me, so I will use a little bit of that. And I'm going to tuck that under. And we're going to put this leaf next, and it's going to get tucked as well. So I'm going to put some down here at the bottom of that leaf, and then just a little bit along the bottom on the opposite side so that everything would adhere to that. We're going to add this leaf under here like that. So I'm going to put a little bit on both sides again, just that little bit at the bottom. And we're going to tuck that under. So now let's lift to make sure that we have not sealed anything, and we didn't. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now I know I had a piece of ribbon somewhere on this table, and I don't know where it went. Oh well, it's missing. Okay, so now that is the front of our card. See how we still have enough busyness going on? It's fine. We're going to turn this over, and we're going to put our 4 by 5 1/4 on the back, which is right where you would sign your card and write your message. So let's make that piece pretty now. So for that, let me see here. I have pulled out A World with Octobers. This was a close to my heart stamp, which was one of my faves. And I'm going to put Pumpkin Kisses and Harvest Wishes as my sentiment. Now, I'm not adhering it to the base of my card yet because we've got so much thickness there. I would not be able to adhere it down. You know what I mean? Or when I go to stamp it, my stamping would be all bubbly and wobbly. And we don't want that. So I'm going to use Early Espresso as the ink color for my sentiment. And we're going to go, I want to go high with this one. You can go in the middle, you can go at the bottom, wherever you like. Normally I go smack in the middle. I thought it'd be kind of fun to go at the top this time. And we are going to bring in a pumpkin. And we're going to put a little, oh, that's a huge pumpkin. We don't want that big of a pumpkin. We're going to go with a smaller one. Let's do a small little pumpkin down here. Okay. All right, let's put a little Cajun Craze on this. And I'm going to go right there with it. And now with my blending brush, I'm going to do a little Cajun Craze. And I'm going to do a little bit of that Darling Duckling. Not with my blending brush, I meant to say the water brush. And I'm just going to pull in just a little. And I am going to try to get it drier, like a drier paint. And I'm going to put that dark at the bottom. Kind of where that highlighting is. Kind of like that. Oh, let's put a little more over here. I'm going to wipe off, and I'm going to pull in a little bit of that yellow. And I'm gonna mix. I wonder if I can mix the two here. Oh, yes, I can. Whoa. And I'm just gonna fill in those little white spots with this mixture that I just created. I'm gonna bring in a little more orange to this mixture that I have. And then we need a little bit of brown for the stem. So I wiped my brush off. So that it was drier and I was able to get the other ink colors off. So I'm just gonna wipe that. And we're gonna take our Cajun Craze, just like we've done all of our other parts. I'm just running it along the edge, which will then give my pumpkin that few more seconds to dry before I go sticking it down on my card base. Just like that. Now I can adhere this to the back of my card. And that's the back of our card. So then you would sign, you know, your name there or a little message to whoever you're sending it to. And I'm not going to add any other embellishments only because it's going to add a little too much bulk. So that is now our card. Isn't that fun? So that little bit, we have all that pretty jazziness right there to finish off our card. Let me see if I can turn it just a hair so you can see. So then it would lay like that. Isn't that fun? So much fun. That was a fun card. Okay, now next week's card. Let me see. See, I got a whole pile here. Okay, so next week will be a double flap, double fun card. So watch for details to come on that on Wednesday. Alrighty, so have a super duper evening, and Arlene, I'll see you sometime tomorrow. I will have your package though in the door if you want to just grab it. I may be napping. Alrighty, talk to y'all real soon. Good night.